So hello and welcome to another episode of Bloke Gaming. Today's tutorial we are going to take a look at hunting and what should you be hunting at low levels. So I get asked this quite a lot, and I mean, for the most part the best thing to do is to hunt according to your codex, okay, and hunt the things you can actually hunt. So what you can do is, obviously you can use a tool like ChatGPT or something like that. Let's take a look at this. So you can see here, my question in ChatGPT was what creatures have hit points under 100, and you can see all these different creatures that you should be able to hunt as a low-level player, and then it will give you some ideas as to where you can hunt. And then obviously you should be looking at what you can get as returns. Now, what I usually do for understanding what I can get as returns is I usually pull down from the Entropia wiki. I take a look. So for example, a fowl, you can see what's been dropping recently. So here you can see fowl bones, animal eye oil, tier 2 components, bits and pieces, but you can see nothing particularly exciting there. But if I go and pull down, what was this one? The MERPs. So I think the MERPs are a little bit faster and a little bit more aggressive. But the MERPs, you can actually get some guns dropping from them at the young levels. So maybe it's worth taking a look at them. But what I'm going to do today is, just look at, what you should be trying to focus on. As I said, primarily you should be trying to focus on getting the the challenge level of your codex up to around 5 for each of the easier animals, and then slowly keep building them up, because the more levels you get, so basically everything in this game is exponential. So even gaining level 1 of this is reasonable. Gaining level 25 is going to take you forever. So it's kind of an exponential curve. So getting 1 to 5 in each of the lower levels is probably a good thing, and then taking it from 5 to 10, and then from 10 to 15, and so on. And in terms of the returns as well, you want to try and get things that help different professions. So I've typically gone for anatomy because it helps a lot of different things, including looter skills. And then for the bigger ones, this one I'd probably go for either alertness or evade, or this one's a little bit more. But basically 1 and 2 you get anatomy, 3, 4 you get perception as probably the skill you want to go for. Hang on, that was 7. Let me try that one. That's going to be anatomy 1 again. Then you've got 5, which gives you a rarer skill. Then 6, 7 will go back to the anatomy set. 8, 9 will go back to the there we go. So anatomy, this one should be an 8, 9. So you get those choices, and in those choices I usually go for perception. So where are we going to hunt? So obviously you've got Icarus. So around Icarus you've got a whole bunch of low level mobs that you can take out, but they're mainly punies. So I'm not going to really focus on those today. What I'm going to talk about is as you get a little bit further out. So as you get a little bit further out from Icarus, you've got the Argonauts, and Argonauts are not that difficult to take down and can be done with a starter gun and no armor. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put us on hold whilst I go to the Argonauts, and then I'll show you where they are and I'll show you some hunting. So just bear with me a little bit and I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm back. I've just flown over to Nus Lol, which is one of the early spaces down here. And you can see I'm just a little bit to the north of Nus Lol, And as I run north, I'm going to come across these Tripudians, which obviously I can kill quickly. I'm just going to show you. I'm going to be using the EAC Last Rifle. It is a starter gun. It is 5.2 DPS. It's actually the one from Next Island. I just happened to pick it up when I was in Next Island, just to do some testing. But I'm going to go here, and as you'll see, it is actually, or should be enough to take down the outrunners before they get to me. Okay, so for the most part, I'm taking down the outrunners before they get to me. Let me just make sure. Yep, no rings on. So I've got no rings on, so I should be able to take down most of these guys just with a TT gun. And if they do hit me with no armor, now, I mean, to be frank, there's nothing I can do to negate my evade. My evade's only level 19, but it is level 19. But when these guys hit, they're going to hit for probably around, I think it was 15 when I was testing earlier. There you go, 18. So when they hit, they're going to hit, and it's going to hurt a little bit, but hopefully you should be able to take them down before they get to you and before they do any damage. So what I'm going to do is, so this is the first one that I think is good. There's a good, decent volume here, just for burning through some levels. So just give me a second and I'll pull up the actual list of items that they drop. Alright, so what can we get from Argonauts? So I'm just going to show you here. We can get some Argonaut skin, probably not worth much. Ironstone, that's kind of useful. I use it from time to time. You got tier 1 components which will help you upgrade past that first tier. If you can actually pull off a corrosive or a combustive attack nano chip, that would be great. Are these young that I'm fighting here? I mean, I'm guessing it says uncommon, but I'm guessing you'd have to have a pretty reasonable hit. No, they're grunts. Let me just kill a couple more. Just pull that back up. So young doesn't really say what's. Outrunner, grunt, young. So the youngs are the ones in the cave. They're a little bit harder to kill. So we're looking at outrunners and grunts really. So again, you can sort here, but you're probably going to be getting a mainly shrapnel and muscle oil. The one thing about Entropia Wiki is it's incredibly slow. I mean, really, really slow. So it does take a little bit of time to download the pages, so please be patient. But yeah, first thing, as I said, these Argos, very low HP, very easy to kill, and so you can definitely do it with your TT gun and without wearing any armor. Now the next area we're going to go to is also close to the starter area, close to Calypso, to Camp Icarus. We're going to be going out to the Orthos oil fields. So by the oil fields, it's a little bit more dangerous, and to get in, there are some bigger robots you need to kind of work your way around and avoid. So let me just drop down here. So there are some level 8 ones around the edge that you just need to be careful of. But as you can see here, this entrance in is mainly juveniles and some lower level, some Argonauts and some lower level droids. But once you get in, oh, that's a big one, is it there? No, it's a puny as well. But once you're in, there we go, there's some of the bigger ones. So you just need to be careful getting through the gap to not engage some of these bigger level 8 ones. But if you can get through without engaging them, there are some lower level ones in here. Let me just throw my TT gun on again. Don't want to engage that one. Now this is a PvP area, so you could get shot at by other players, but I've yet to be shot at by other players when I've been in here, but it's not unheard of. But anyway, once you're in here, you can take these down. They are going to shoot you at range, so you're going to take damage more often, more quickly, and you really don't want to get into the really deep areas where there's loads and loads of these things, because then you can pick up a whole bunch. But as you can see there, they're only hitting for about 5 to 6 per shot when they actually do damage. So you basically can burn your way through the drones and get some. I don't know what these ones are. I don't know what these ones are dropping, but it's probably going to be mainly shrapnel and a few droid components if you're lucky. But again, not too challenging to take down, and they're not doing a significant amount of damage, 5 or 6 per hit. Very much you can take them down and work on your drone, and also you're working on your dodge when you're fighting these. Obviously with animals, once they get close range, it's all evade. With these guys, you're working on your dodge, so it's probably worth adding these to your rotation, and doing some drones. Let's just finish this one off. There we go. Alright. So yeah, drones pretty easy as well. Just to show you again where we are, this is Icarus, and we are in this area here, which, as I said, it is a PvP zone, as you can see here. And there is an area deeper in where you can get oil and fight for some oil, but you really don't need to engage with any of that stuff, and probably don't recommend you do at this point, because you're here really just to work on your codex. So that's the drones. Actually, so there is the quest that Alice gives you, which I showed you in another video, which will have you do drone stroker and drone stroker, and then like Dikeeper or bristle pups or things like that. And the Dikeeper and bristle pups and the drone stroker, they're all very, very close to Camp Icarus. So moving on, I will just put a pause on, and I will head back and we will go to the next place. Okay, so the next one we're going to do is just outside of Port Atlantis. Let me just move that. So as you can see, as we're driving out here, there's all kinds of bits and pieces, small ones. You see over here, Baracycled, some young, some punies. But yeah, we're going to do the exosaurs, and this was one of the first things that I cut my teeth on when I very first started the game. I probably spent my first 2-3 weeks out here, basically killing these things and slowly leveling up my weapon skills. So we're going to come down here, and we're going to park at this little station here. Now, when you first start, there's also going to be a couple of quests in the swamp, and you can also take some of the creatures in the swamp, which I'll show you in just a second. But North Swamp Camp. And just let me throw on the TT gun again. So yeah, if we go up here, these things don't run that fast. So you'll usually find some people camping up here and killing these things. They're not that, as I said, they're not that hard. But let's take this one over here. And as you can see, obviously you can walk back if you're worried about taking damage, but you can usually finish these off. They're going to do a reasonable amount of damage when they hit you, but you can usually finish them off with the TT gun relatively quickly. They're also not particularly aggressive. I mean, if you go stand next to them, they're going to aggress, but they're going to attack you, but they're not particularly aggressive, so you can, for the most part, take them down. So the exosaurs, they used to drop the blazer fragments, but these days I don't think they do. But I mean, they're still going to drop shrapnel, and they're still going to drop either muscle oil or, let's have a quick shift. What have they dropped? Shrapnel, And this one's going to drop. Animal hide. So, yeah, I mean, you can get bits and pieces off them, but again, relatively easy to take down and not really particularly threatening. We got a couple now, so let's just see if we can take them down without taking too much damage. If you stay close to the camp, you can always pull them back into the camp and get the camp gun to shoot them as well. But we should be okay with the couple. Okay, so then once we've done that, I'm just going to run down into the swamp to show you the next creature. So from here, that's one there. So the exosaurs, you can start working on their codex, burning your way through. They're pretty easy to take out. And then we can go down here into the swamp. As I said, there is a quest in the swamp, but these things here, let me just jump down here. These level 3 creatures here, you can also pretty much take these down without too much hassle as well. There's a couple of bigger creatures in here, so just be careful what you're engaging before you engage. But for the most part, you can take most of the things here in the swamp. Let me just move that so I can see what's going on over here. There's another one over there. Oh, somebody's had a go at that one. I'll leave that one for now. That's Tripudion. There we go, there's another one there, so I'll take that just to show you again. But yeah, pretty easy to take down, and this will be another codex here, Alafil. I haven't actually killed that many of these things, but yeah, you can take them down and start working on the codex there. So I'm going to leave it there and pause and show you the last one on my list for today. So the last creature I'm going to show you today is the fowls. So the fowls, the best place for fowls is actually quite close to Fort Troy. The one challenge is you've got to get to them, and getting to them can be a little bit of a pain, because there are some kind of high-level creatures just outside the camp. But let's just try following the road. I don't know whether that will let me, because, as I said, there's some robots out here which are pretty high level, and you are not going to want to mess with. As you can see just over there, what's that? Level 60 or something. Yeah. So, oh no. Okay. Yeah, that's not going to work. I'm going to very quickly hot-tail it back to camp and let these guns finish it off. Okay, so you're not going to be able to do it. Come on, camp guns. Camp guns, shoot it. Oh, camp guns are not going to shoot it. That's not good. I'm not going to be able to take this. That's not good. Yeah. I thought the camp guns would take that, which they did not do. So, well, I'm going to just pause whilst I try and figure out how I'm going to take this down. So we're going to go